right, let's do it. Playing some Modern here. Again, I know it's been a hot second since we've done a whole lot of Modern on this channel. Since Pioneer went a little bit sour, I am accepting Legacy, Modern, Pioneer, Pauper, Vintage, any Magic Online format for my segments in the morning now. So basically, instead of being focused on one format, this is just kind of like Magic Online to kick off most streams. So we're kicking off with some Modern today with this submission here. So we've got As Foretold here, which says you may once each turn you may pay 0 rather than pay the mana cost for a spell, whether as long as its converted mana cost is X or less, where X is the number of counters on this, and it gets a counter every turn. And this is notably reasonable in this deck because it abuses kind of like a loophole in the rules with cards like Restore Balance here, Ancestral Visions, and Crashing Footfalls, which normally these are cards you have to suspend and wait 4 or 6 turns for them to be cast, but these technically have a converted mana cost of 0. So by utilizing As Foretold or Electrodominance here, we can cast these effects without having to suspend them. What else? What else is this deck doing? So balance, Restore Balance here is just actual factual balance. It equalizes the number of lands both players have, the number of cards in hand, and the number of creatures in play. So Restore Balance is notably really powerful with Greater Gargadon when suspended, because Greater Gargadon lets us sacrifice any creatures we have and lands we have in play. So, for instance, something that's a very common line of play is you'll cast Restore Balance off of As Foretold, and then before this resolves, we'll use Greater Gargadon to sacrifice all of our lands. And this will let us kill all of our opponent's lands while we retain As Foretold to be able to continue casting our spells. What is Astrolabe doing besides mana fixing? It's just that. Astrolabe is in here to fix our mana, and just the fact that, again, this card is just a really offensive design overall. It just does it. The fixing for the cost of replacing itself and costing 1 mana is very good. This is also an extra artifact that can be used with Greater Gargadon, but mostly similar to Gitaxian Probe, this just makes our deck smaller at a very minimal cost. So by playing 4 1-mana cantrips, we just get to find the cards we want to see more consistently. Let's go ahead and hop on into a Modern League here with this one and see how it goes. Dreadhorde Arcanist is interesting. I feel like one of the problems with trying to play Dreadhorde Arcanist in a deck like this is it causes you to give up some of that virtual card advantage you otherwise have by blanking your opponent's removal spells game 1. By putting a Must Answer threat in your deck that otherwise doesn't care about creature removal, you're like giving your opponent live draws that would otherwise be blank. Knacker, thank you for the entire year of support. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. Thanks for keeping me around. Yeah, this card, Modern as a whole, has largely been warped around this card. I feel like banning this card would be a good change for the format, probably. And there's a lot of people that feel that way about Legacy as well. I don't have much experience in that format, though, so I can't really say. Yeah, Modern Horizons really was a slew of mistakes. Feels Magic the Gathering, man. I'm going to keep the Scalding Tarn here, because Scalding Tarn fetches both of our basics. I mean, to be fair, the people that criticized Modern Horizons as being a largely commander set, those people are still correct. If you look at the number of cards that were impactful for Modern Horizons in proportion to the total number of cards in the set, most of the cards in Modern Horizons don't see Modern play and didn't have an impact, right? It's just the number of cards that do see play from the set tended to be really pushed, right? So like the density of impactful cards wasn't high, but the cards that were impactful had really large impacts. I think would be the best way to talk about it. Force of Negation. This is actually a card I really don't like from Modern Horizons. This is one of the kind of features of the format that I feel like I really didn't want emulated from Legacy gameplay. Like, counterspells in general, yeah, I really hate free counterspells. Like, counterspells in general are a huge feel-bad experience, and there's supposed to be a reward for your opponent tapping out in a lot of situations like that, and the fact that they no longer get penalized for doing that feels really bad. I feel like Force of Negation didn't... Force feels similar to what it did in Legacy, which is that I don't feel like it meaningfully made the combo text worse, while also making a number of feel bad experiences happen. All right, so opponent mismanaging Jace here a little bit. Generally speaking, against decks that are playing Bolt, you should plus your Jace to start, so it doesn't get 1-for-1 like this. Disney Arena. Is this like something where you like fight Disney characters? Like you like make Goofy beat up Mickey? Seriously? Is this like a real branded thing? That can't be real, right? Have your favorite Disney friends kill each other? Okay, I mean, Electrodominance here with Restore Balance is pretty decent. Almost to the 2-year mark, only 4 more months to go. Thanks for the 20 months, Zerblin. I appreciate that. Welcome back. That's literally the plot of Kingdom Hearts. Okay. Oh, is it just another gacha game? That would make sense. Those things are real money makers. I already have one gacha game in my life. I don't have time. I don't have time or money for 2. We're all in on the Raid Shadow Legends. Okay, so we're going to end step Electrodominance here. We know they have Force of Negation, but I have a... Well, this isn't coming off for 2 turns, I guess. That's still fine. It's getting better with social distancing compared to last Saturday at 50% less customers at the gas station. It's actually refreshing to hear. It's nice to hear that. Hopefully the deeper we get into this, the more serious people will take it. I mean, they can force it. They're allowed to pay mana for this spell, like they did. Grey Ogre, I choose you. So this wasn't a Modern Horizons card, but this card is also super obnoxious, huh? Yeah, the fact that it's fetchable is like, fetch lands are really stupid. For lots of... Sorry, someone, when the stream first went live, asked me about Tolarian, made a response video to fetch lands being reprinted. Hearn Q, thanks for the 12 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. We actually had a discussion about... We were having a discussion about fetch lands in the Magic General channel in the subs Discord. Just like, I think it really shows the level of Stockholm Syndrome and accepting of capitalism that exists in the world, that players themselves defend the pricing of fetch lands and like how Wizards prices their secondary products. we're dead here, right? I'm just gonna go ahead and concede. They've got an active Azcanta. A couple of Veil of Summers here, a couple of Mystic Disputes. Am I Blood Mooning them? I feel like there's a real chance I'm Blood Mooning them. Should fetches be banned in Modern? Nah, probably not. I think having them banned in Pioneer is fine. I think if you don't want to play with fetches, play Pioneer. Yeah, I was really glad they preemptively banned them there. I don't think it's really worth discussing, because I don't think they're ever going to actually get banned here. Hey, CO, thanks for the 15 months. Yeah, if you're around on the weekends, I'm going to be here every Saturday and Sunday for the foreseeable future, I believe. Do I board and fry here? I feel like I don't. I guess they're probably an Narset deck. They're probably a Narset deck, huh? That probably means I want Fray. Right, Force Pith? Well, I already had Bolt out. Are you asking, is Fry better than Bolt? Yeah, I think so. Fry kills a Mind Sculptor after they plus him. Space Herring, thanks for the 25 months. No, so the thing you need to understand about fetch lands is the reason why they're expensive is because Wizards wants them to be expensive. Wizards of the Coast has the power to print whatever they want as much as they want it, but they know that it's more profitable for them to keep things like fetch lands inaccessible from a price standpoint, because them being expensive pushes certain demographics of players towards standard. I mean, it's what's wrong with the Wizards business model from the consumer standpoint, but from the capitalist standpoint, it makes a lot of sense, right? Like, it is far more profitable for them. Yeah, so the secret layer fetches, for people that aren't familiar with how secret layer type products tend to work, there's a very good chance, in fact, that the secret layer fetch lands in the medium to long term will cause the price of fetch lands overall to go up. Because while the supply will increase, there is the likelihood from historical data is that the demand will increase more than the supply increases. Is often what tends to happen. It's what we see with most reprint sets. That's what the discussion in the subs Discord today actually was. One of the subs was trying to posit that it was reasonable for the secret layer to cost what it costs. And in my opinion, it's not reasonable in the slightest. It's profitable for Wizards to make them cost that much, and it's good business on their part. But to posit charging, hundreds of dollars for 5 small pieces of cardboard is reasonable is just nonsense. It's Stockholm syndrome. You're just used to being fleeced, so when you get fleeced, it's not a big deal to you. I lead on As Foretold here. think I'd rather this resolve than this resolve. So I'm going to offer them the option to force this before I do this. Land. Sick. Oh, I can't fetch a second island here. That's unfortunate. Negative red locks. Everything I do personally is through MTGO traders who buys and sells cards. You know, I'm probably supposed to leave Island up here so I could dispute a, yeah, I left up Veil so green so I could theoretically Veil like another Force, but the chance of them having a second Force or a Spell Pierce is low. So I should have left up Dispute here so that way I could like dispute a Narset or a Jace this turn. Yeah, I messed up. I'm gonna go ahead and just pack it in. Yeah, there's no basic Forest in my Blood Moon Green deck, which is real awkward. I should have definitely left up Mystic Dispute there. I guess to be fair, Veil and Wrenn and Six are mainly things that cost green mana, and like Weather the Storm, but like Weather the Storm and Blood Moon aren't coming into the same matchups. I don't know. Like, if you think about it, I'm not really sure. Like, there's 2 Blood Moons to the sideboard. Not really sure that you need a basic Forest. Feels like Secret Lair is WotC going, we can be a secondary market seller to 100%. It is them cashing in on the secondary market. 110%. Basic Plains Springleaf Drum. Okay, so just Affinity it looks like. Okay, so if we can find a land for turn 3, we can go As Foretold, Restore Balance. I think I keep Bolt here. Obviously, we want to draw the island next turn, but I think Bolt's a card we keep. Oh, you know what? I should have suspended Ancestral Visions, because I'm going to have to discard a bunch of cards next turn when I balance. Yeah, I should have suspended AV. 100% should have suspended AV. To choose 2 land, sacrifice the rest. Alright, I'll pick these 2. I have to discard it down to 1 card. Do I discard down to... Do I keep 2 Rhinos, or do I keep AV? Is it crazy to keep the rhinos? It's probably crazy to keep the rhinos. I'm gonna keep the AV. I should have suspended this last turn. This gets a counter every turn. I just bought him here. Hey, DK. Thanks for the interior support. Let's get you a sword to go with that shield. I appreciate you keeping me around. Margins on Magic cards are the worst in the whole industry. Can I get a citation on that? Like, you have actual insider knowledge that the margins on a $150 product that has 5 cards in it are bad? Like, I would love to see a source on that. That sounds like a lot of nonsense. Wait, so... Yeah, that's not... You're talking about local game stores. Like, that's completely different than the discussion we're having. Like, margins on things at the local game store is completely different than, like, margins on things that Wizards of the Coast is producing and selling. So, like, don't conflate those two things together. Alright, so I think we target Lightning Bolt. And honestly, I think we probably just Crashing Foothills here, huh? And get some power into play. Nah, I'm gonna draw 3 cards again. Who am I kidding? Down to 1. Gonna get burned out here, aren't we? You did some math with 100 runs of 12-3 and got an average of 1.2 points per energy used. I don't know. I have to sit down and think about what you're saying, Austin. Because my math and, like, quick couple of runs implies that you'd have to spend a significant amount of gems to max it. That's not a lot, German Space Ace. You're positing that a set that was pitched as this is the set of modern cards, you're saying 37 out of 254 cards is a lot for modern. It's a lot compared to a standard legal set. I agree with you there. But for a set that was made specifically for modern, 37 out of 254 is incredibly low in my opinion. I think you'd have to be close to the 50% range to consider it high. And again, that's subjective. Feel free to disagree. But like, in my opinion, 37 out of 254 cards in a set deemed this is for modern, being modern playable, is not a lot. I think my statement of this set had a lot of high impact cards is correct. There were definitely a lot of high impact cards in those 37. but like not even 20% of the cards having an impact. Like it's not a lot. All right, Simians, I believe in you. Let's go. I don't know. If they have a list of 37 cards, like that's more than that, but still. Sure, I agree that there's only so many cards that can be playable in any given thing. But like that's still like it honestly it really shows in my opinion just how big the historic anthologies are, right? Blixt, thanks for the 12 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Like if they do a 250 card Modern Masters set and like 37 of them are playable, like that means we're basically getting a historic master set every like twice a year, right? If we're getting like 30 some playable cards out of that. So I guess I down tick here and then Electrodominance this for 3. Don't ask other people to do your homework for you, Necker. Nobody probably has that number easily accessible. All right, they're at 9. No, if you cast a spell off of As Foretold, X is 0. All right, need to fade one more draw step here. Did they draw it and decide to do it during my upkeep, or are they faking us? Rob's faking us. I will point out that the Horizons was during its time, arguably up till now, where development has missed a ton. Yeah, I agree. I think there's been a lot of misses in there. I agree with that base assumption. Ancient Grudge and Shattering Spree seem good here. Weather the Storm. I don't know who was asking for a timeout, but you can have one. I'm doing like 3 things at once here. Sometimes your Simian Spirit Guides get there, huh? What do I want to trim here? It's probably Finale, I promise. Maybe some of these cantrips. Seems fine. Two cheers for Grey Ogres, right? Hip hip hooray! I think I'm supposed to mulligan this. Can I have my 7 back? What do you think? If I ask really nicely, will they give me my 7 back? Sounds great. I agree, Full Metal. Where's my grizzly pigs at? With this draw, I'm gonna lead on the Forgotten Caves. I was gonna fetch Island, go Astrolabe, but I think I'd much rather be able to As Foretold restore balance next turn. How did you go evaluating the standard Jeskai Walker's deck? I don't understand your question. I haven't played Jeskai Walker's deck recently in standard or anywhere else. This is why this card's sweet. It's just like, alright, cast Wrath of God, go. We both have 2 lands, we both have 2 cards in hand, so. Yeah, I agree. In general, I think it's a good thing when they take design risks. However, Wizards of the Coast, in my opinion, has shown a reluctance to correct design mistakes when they make them. Verbant Enchantress. Sounds good. Sounds good. Let's bolt this one. Yes, it's great to accept risks as long as you're willing to clean up the mess after. And I feel like they've kind of shown that they don't want to clean up their mess. Yeah. Once Upon a Time, I feel like Once Upon a Time is pretty close to an unforgivable design mistake. Like, once Upon a Time is, how did this get printed? You should definitely know better by now. Yeah, Breach probably falls into that category too. I agree with that. I saw in your recent stream you sent yourself a reminder to check a walkers list I have soon in your... No, I don't know. Yo, you're confused. Someone was having an issue. I think you're confused. Someone was having an issue importing the historic Jeskai Planeswalkers deck that's up on my website. There was a bug with the Stream Decker plugin on my website that was preventing people from importing it into Magic Arena appropriately. So I made a note to follow up with the Stream Decker person on that. And I believe that issue's been corrected on their back end. Mr. Hemi, thanks for the brand new tier 1 sub. I appreciate that. Welcome. Oko is very obvious, is not an obvious design mistake. You're not new here, CCBM. So my new rule is going to be that if you have a 6-month sub badge or more, and you do the typical why not X play, like in this case someone said don't want to cast Wrenn ? Instead of me explaining to you why I didn't want to cast Wrenn, you should tell me why Wrenn and 6 is the play I want to make. Why do you think casting Wrenn and 6 there is better than making 2 4/4s? Because in my opinion it's worse than making 2 4/4s, so... Oko's a really powerful card that's super interesting from a design perspective, that's simply 1 number off probably of being a fine card. Now, Oko makes me think maybe their playtest team was pretty far off. Like their playtest team missing Oko. Like, I feel like most reasonable Magic players played a small number of games with Oko and were like, what is going on? This isn't okay. So I wonder what their team with Oko, Once Upon a Time, and Veil of Summer, like, what did the future League deck list look like? Like, what was going on in their testing? What was going on in their testing that they didn't figure that out. You could have done both right. You could have Astrolabe, sure. And again, like, I didn't think about that. So you could have done both, and you could have cast Wrenn and Six via Astrolabe. That is why having a discussion is important. Why not Wrenn and Six question mark doesn't articulate that I could do both. If you take a second and type out and articulate, hey, you could do both via Arcanum's Astrolabe, I'd be like, yeah, you're right, that's a good suggestion. And you see it opens up a dialogue, as opposed to me wasting time and breath because I missed something while reading chat and doing 6 other things. Their testing had Field of the Dead legal. Maybe that's a fair critique. Field of the Dead definitely did a lot to keep Oko in check. That's a fair assessment. And we actually talked about that. As they ban things in Standard, the work the Future League did is basically shot until those cards rotate out, right? So like all of the Standard sets for the next year were balanced with Field of the Dead being legal in mind, right? So like part of the reason why Flash and Counterspell decks are probably as obnoxious as they are in Standard is because those decks in Future League testing were supposed to be keeping up with Field of the Dead, and they were supposed to be keeping up with Veil of Summer, right? I did not finish. I finished the first year of the Legend of the Keepers game, and so one of the other subs in chat said they picked it up and were playing it, and it got more challenging into the second year. But I haven't had time to play it past that. Raid has mostly dominated all of my off-stream gaming time, in large part due to the fact that it's playable on mobile. As someone with children, my time spent not working on the computer is generally spent away from the computer. Ooh, wait, Croxa doesn't trigger this, right? Because this enters from the stack? That's interesting. Just gonna go ahead and abrade this here. Yeah, the old breeding pool Croxa deck. Listen, I've played way worse than that, okay? When does Slay the Spire start? I think we're gonna do Slay the Spire probably starting about 2:30, 3 o'clock. I'm planning to do three arena decks today. We've probably got another hour left in this Moto deck or so. You think Croxa will trigger Prized Amalgams? No, it shouldn't. Prized Amalgams worded when a creature enters the battlefield, if it entered from the graveyard. Oh, it says, or if you cast it from your graveyard. Okay, so there's the second line. Second line, or if you cast it from the graveyard. Sure, so Croxa definitely triggers this. I stopped reading it the first line. I have played 0 Slay the Spire before. I installed it and I launched it so I could set up a rough scene for it, but I might have to shuffle my elements around depending on if my webcam is blocking critical things. I stopped reading it. Listen, literacy is a big problem among Magic players, chat. I think I'm just playing this as a gain 3, just like kill your 1/1 gain 3. I don't really need another land. Support your local MTG store today by buying the Reading Rainbow's latest offering so you too can help a Magic player read the flipping card. You don't see your build around for Bow and Field. Was that bits or a donation? Oh, it's because you didn't actually list the build around. You didn't list what the... You said, let's do that build around. That's why it got missed. Magic players in following directions, chat. I guess we could draw an Electro balance here and be okay. Or a balance. Yeah, like that. We can draw that one. So, don't feel too bad. Like, when people submit, when I have people submit, when I send people an email telling them that I've accepted their deck submission, in my I've accepted your submission email, I include a link to donate, and I say, hey, list your Twitch name and put the deck link in the donation message. And like probably less than 50% of people who donate decks actually link the deck link in the donation message. So understand that this is your job. I was wondering if you also enjoy off time playing Magic. If I'm preparing for like a tournament, I'll play some Magic off stream. But honestly, if I'm playing Magic, I'm probably streaming. Like, it doesn't really make sense. Scob Ruinator. We are super dead. It doesn't really make sense for me to, like, be playing Magic and not, like, fire up the stream. Like, even if it's something that I want to play, I might as well be making content while I do it. Hey, Cody. Thanks for the sub-gifting. So I have an Ashiok. And I have an Anger of the Gods. I guess I board in Blood Moon and just hope to try and punk them. I guess we're boarding in Blood Moon. Sure, Necker, but again, like you're arguing past the point, Necker. You're just like to resurrect a discussion from earlier. We were talking about margins at Wizards of the Coast level, and you're bickering about margins on what local game stores are making on margins on their boxes. Like, we get it. The LGS model is not one you get into because you expect to get wealthy. Nobody running a local game store is becoming a millionaire while doing it. What we were talking about is the margins on things like the secret layers that Wizards is printing and Wizards is marking up. That's what we were discussing. The markup on a secret layer with 5 Magic cards in it that will be sold for $150. You understand that the thing with the fetches comes from Wizards of the Coast, right? Like, even if it's being sold at the local game store, they're buying it from a distributor, and the distributor bought it from Wizards. Corn Chip, thanks for the 20. Yeah, it's one of each fetch land. It is 5 magic cards for $100 and some. It's the secret layers are Wizards of the Coast not really acknowledging, but kind of acknowledging the fact that they can print their own money. The reason why this came up is there was a Wizards PR person that was doing a discussion, and they decided to try and die on the hill of you can't compare a secret layer product to a booster pack because secret layer printing 5 cards in a secret layer isn't like printing 15 cards in a booster pack. Sure, Fair and Brightmore, but the reason why, and again, this is why people are so people are so stupid. You just are. You don't understand how basic capitalism works and how supply and demand works. Wizards of the Coast does not have a finite supply of magic cards in the broad sense. There is not a finite supply of fetch lands. Wizards of the Coast could print as many Scalding Tarns as they print draft chaff. Wizards of the Coast could fill 15 card booster packs with a selection of random fetch lands and print off as many as they do normal sets and drive the price of these things down. Someone in a suit and tie with a clipboard at Wizards of the Coast came to the conclusion that it's more profitable for them overall to create artificial scarcity with this product. And they are completely within their rights to do that. That's peak late stage capitalism. I'm saying their point is irrelevant to the discussion we're having at hand. I don't care about the margins at the local game store. They don't pertain to this discussion at all. What the margins are on things the local game store are completely irrelevant to what we're currently talking about. It's monopoly pricing. Yeah, basically. It's slightly less efficient. It's not 15 cards for $4 versus 5 cards for $150 less efficient. You're right. With packaging, it's some amount less efficient. It's not, I don't know, what's the math? What's the math on that? 150 divided by 4. It's not 38 times less efficient. Thanks for the biddies, Gala. And yeah, I could definitely add that to your Yarok field. I think I'm gonna YOLO this. And like, don't get me wrong, like, it's a children's card game. I don't think it's immoral or wrong for Wizards of the Coast to gouge people on fetch lands. Magic the Gathering is a luxury hobby, and they should do whatever they do to think that makes them profitable. All I am saying is that the people who are arguing from a position of this is necessary or this has to happen for any reason other than greed and late stage capitalism, you're naive at best, willfully ignorant, or stupid at worst. Just full stop. Like, not saying it's wrong to have it happen, not saying that it needs to change, just saying that understand why this is the reality. Yeah, what is it about Modern? Modern, we have the wildest rants while we play Modern, huh? I think I'm bottoming both of these. Kind of just want like a balance for my graveyard hate. Modern reminds people they can't afford fetch land. It's funny because it's true. I mean, that last game, Modern does have a higher number of this just isn't interesting magic, right? Like that last game, for instance, I literally cast a Blood Moon on turn 2, and then the game just had nothing else going on, right? Like the game was over because I cast Blood Moon. All right, let's suspend a Greater Gargadon, huh? Let's get him going. I like the comments you make about needing higher dollar rare items and say cosmetics and MTGA that allow WotC profits so the average consumer can still play the game reasonably. Sure. We'll do Anaphylactic. Thanks for the support. Alright, so like half to draw Anger of the Gods, right? I guess we're not just dead. Because I could do this. And then I can make some 4/4s here, but we're definitely not in a great spot. Yeah, they're on the board, so Blood Moon's not going to cut it. For sure. Yeah, correct. Great. Fetch lands costing lots of money is more comparable to Brawl being gated behind a paywall. They're paywalling the actual format by having fetch lands be expensive. Is the difference there. So, I think because they left the zombie back, I'm going to go ahead and kill the Satyr Wayfinder here. So this way they can't return the Gravecrawler and get back their prized amalgam. We get 4 shots at an Anger of the Gods here, of which we have 1. Another Electrodominance, eh? Am I just casting? I think we're just casting Simian Spirit Guide. I mean, the lands being rares are a primary driving feature of Wizards' profit margins. Let's just be honest and call a spade a spade. Go Gadget Grey Ogre. Is today's Slay the Spire segment sponsored? It's sponsored by viewers like you. Someone had asked what my normal sponsored rate is when a company asks me to play their game on my stream. And normally I get between $100 and $150 for an hour of playing someone's game on my stream. Some vary, like Raid paid me more than that. But usually that's my rate, especially for indie games, like indie game companies. If they have a sweet indie game, that's my rate. So Punchworthy paid my rate and said, "Can I?" Punchworthy asked, "Could he make me play a game if he paid that?" And I was like, "Yeah." So he paid me to play Slay the Spire. No sub discount. I'm gonna do more than an hour of Slay, most likely. Yes, we are actually stabilizing here, which is sweet. The 4/4 is looking really impressive. Should we bolt the supplier so they can't play? Yes, we should. Let's do that now. So this is funny. They're claiming a Satyr Wayfinder here, so they can draw some lands. Yeah, to do a first-person game, like, it depends. So, like, it depends on if it runs through Wine too. Like, I don't actually have a Windows streaming system set up at the moment. So, like, random Unity games tend to run fine through Wine. Slay the Spire actually has a native Linux version that installs via Steam, which was great. I was very happy to see that. Didn't have to screw with anything at all. They're neoforming Satyr Wayfinder. Okay. Yeah, Overwatch runs fine. That's a Ruinator. This thing flies and we're at 7. Yikes. All right, I have this suspended still. Okay, so if we can draw a balance, we can clear the board here, right? That's a Blood Moon. Blood Moon's too little too late. Let's go ahead and lead on Astrolabe here. Then I've got one more redraw. All right, 2 more redraws. Yikes. So I could play this land, and then I can sack my Astrolabes and my lands and cast this, and they have to chump block this, right? Because it comes in with haste. Because if they don't block this, they block a 4, they take 9, 13, 15. So I think that's the line, right? I think the line is sack my board, attack, hope they can't Vengevine me. Oh, they have two Gravecrawlers in the bin. So we're just dead. Yeah, we're just dead because they have 2 Gravecrawlers in the bin. We had a few shots there. Needed to find a restore balance. Just didn't have a balance in the top half of our deck almost. Or anger. Yeah, I could block the next turn, but then I'm dead the following turn. So it just doesn't matter, Owen. Yeah, the Neo form for the flyer was slick. Chat, they had Vengevines in their bin, chat. They had Vengevines in their bin. I had 4 blockers. The Vengevines come in with haste and they kill me. Yeah, this hand's fine. Balance like undoes the mulligan in a way. Excited to get Force of Negation. So we sack a land, they discard down to 1 card. Yay! Magic! Woo! Magic! We did it! We did it! We did it! Hooray! Mind twist you, sack a land, go. Your move, Yugi boy. This is all I got. And this is why accepting decks like this one are sweet. Like, even if we get dumpstered in a majority of our matches, we still get sweet games like this one, right? Where you're just like, sha, get ya. I'm gonna keep the snow-covered island because of Astrolabe. Yeah. And like, I have As Foretold to cast other colored spells. So I think keeping the island is correct. Esper control, 4-color control. Mind twisting couldn't have happened to a nicer person. Yeah, now we just try and top deck. We're looking for like a Rhinos or an Ancestral Visions here. Yeah, that's fair. The deck that the last opponent was playing was quite neat. Close game at the end, all things considered. Swish, chat, swish. Oh no. Man, I really hope we draw a busted 0 mana spell to punish them casting this. Astrolabe. They decided to counter my Astrolabe. You can cast Astrolabe off of As Foretold. It is incorrect there to do that, though, because if Astrolabe cantripped into a 0 mana spell, I wanted to be able to cast that 0 mana spell off my As Foretold. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and loot. Do I keep Finale here? Or do I, like, keep... I think I want to keep backup As Foretold. I think it's keep backup As Foretold. Alright, Mr. Grey Ogre, I believe in you. You're going the distance. You're going full speed. He's all alone in this time of need. He's racing and pacing and plotting the course. Slow and steady, chat. Slow ride. Take it easy. Oh no! Not my gray ogre, chat. You're a monster. There goes our clock. Not my tutu. Hey, thank you for the very generous tier 3 subtime, Lord. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. How do X spells work with As Foretold? X is 0. Now, X being 0 with Electrodominance is still kind of interesting because it lets you Electrodominance for free at their end step and then cast something like Ancestral Visions, which is great. Which is kind of sweet. Look at that big angry rhino, chat. He's coming for you. One more and we can cast Greater Gargadon. Ain't that the truth? Oh no! They're sculpting our minds, chat! Not my mind! Oh, it might be 10, you're right. Yeah, it's 9, it's 9R. It suspends for 10. Yeah, it's a 9-7. 9-7 is where the 9 is on the card. Yeah. End of turn, shock your mind sculptor. The classic 4-mana deal 2. Modern playable cards. Wow, way to push my rhino. Let's just read. Well, I mean, yep. It's gonna leave that one in hand for one more turn here. I feel like if this deck had Steam achievements, this would be an achievement. If there were Steam achievements for this deck, cast your Greater Gargadon using As Foretold would definitely be one of them. He's coming for you, chat. Look at him. Ain't no regular Gargadon. It is the greater of Gargadons. He's a chunky boy. They could take our Gargadon out back and drown him in the lock, chat. Yeah, fatal push this. Oh no. My poor Gargadon. Yeah, they're playing Archmage Charm in their 4-color deck because they probably have a bunch of Astrolabes. Astrolabe has taken the color pie and taken it in a format where it already was kind of irrelevant because of fetch lands and made it even more so. They have Mystic Sanctuary in their 4-color deck here as well, which is fetchable. Modern's changed since we used to play it all the time on this format, on this stream, chat. Ain't what she used to be. Do 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 do. Fulgrim, thanks for the 21 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. All right, so in response to this, I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna go ahead and blast them for 3, and then put 8 power into play. Hearthstone with extra steps? I don't know about that. I honestly, with the push towards fair blue decks being extra obnoxious, and with the push towards fair blue decks being extra obnoxious and Force of Negation being printed in this format, it feels a lot more like Legacy than it used to. Oh no! Hide your memes, chat! They're coming for our memes! They're coming for our memes! They took my Rhino boy! Whew! Alright. There she blows! Dear opponent, please don't have another Path or a Snapcaster Mage. Please and thank you. It's Legacy without the fun of brainstorming. Yeah, I believe that. Oh, no. Oh, no. Yeah, remember when we made them discard down to one card in hand? And they only had one land this game? And, like, now we're dying? Pepperidge Farm remembers. I said or Snapcaster Mage. Yeah, we are about to lose a game after the turn 2 Mind Twist. Feels bad, man. I'm already in a famine, opponent. Can't make me do more of what I'm already doing. This the batteriest of all the skulls? Yep. Yep. Could we have Electrode or Garg on their EOT to play around Snapcaster Mage? No. X spells, X is always 0 with As Foretold. They're taking the bait, chat. They're taking the bait. One could argue I was a master at baiting. Truly just the best. Like no one ever was. Do 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 do. It's a shame I have 5 lands in play. It is a real shame that I have 5 lands in play. This is making up for the fact that we failed to draw Restore Balance in the last game, right? So they discard their hand, they sacrifice 3 lands, they sacrifice their creatures. Your move, Yugi boy. This is all we got. Yeah, I mean, they can bounce Batterskull, but it takes them some time, right? Because they're down lands as well. Gives me time. Gives me some breathing room to get some redraws in my life. Don't we all just need some redraws in our life? That's what Magic is all about, chat. Magic's all about the redraws. Ooh, buddy old pal. Oh, buddy old pal. Don't you just love a good redraw in the morning, chat? There ain't nothing quite like a good redraw in the morning. Thanks for the 21 months, Mr. Maple Syrup. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, because they have to tap out to play it here. Because they lost some lands. Now, fingers crossed, their cards right now. Oh God, not menus. Chat, there's too many choices. I'm paralyzed by choice. How do I cast my spell, chat? How do we cast the spell? All right, I think we did it. I think we figured it out. All right, whew. All right, excellent. You love to see it. I'm holding on to this land because we could draw a copy of Izzet Charm and loot this land into a spell. That's a feature, almost assuredly. We need some kind of single-payer mana system. You want to take choice away, but we love our choice. Wait, is that a... No, okay. That was the Batterskull from earlier, I believe. This is currently... We are currently on my 19th turn. We are currently on my 19th turn. We've taken more turns in this one game than we used to take in the entirety of Griselbrand leagues. Ooh. Yeah, we should put Nemmercool in the deck so we can cast it with As Foretold, right? That's the line. They bottomed the card here, so I'm gonna sit on my fetch land until they put a card on top. I'm gonna spend mana on this, because, like, this could hit Ancestral Visions, which then creates a snowball effect. Feels Magic the Gathering, man. We're 0-2 in matches. No, this is match 4, right? Yeah, we're 1 and 2. This is game 1 of match 4. They have Uro in their 4-color deck. Of course they do. Of course they do. We are currently up 2.5 minutes on clock. They just got under 15. I'm excited to board in some Blood Moons and then have them not do anything because my opponent has 4 Astrolabe in their deck. They fetch down to 3, so Bolt's now lethal. Oh, they're escaping. Never mind. They're escaping Uro. They're escaping Uro. So they put me to 4. Then they get to untap all their lands. I'm going to go ahead and fetch 2 lands tapped here real quick so I get my auto pass on. We're dead next turn anyways. Might as well take our marginal thinning percentage here. And we're dead to this still because these are green. When I cast this and make them do the thing, because they're down on clock, and I would like to be further up on clock. If we have a long game 2 that we win, we could definitely time them out in 3. Yeah, without fetch lands, Astrolabe's a lot less offensive for sure. For sure. Alright, so I probably want Ashiok because both attacking their graveyard and potentially decking them seems good. Ancient Grudge seems fine against a Stoneforge deck. Blood Moon seems fine. What are we trimming here? Is it crazy to just cut the Simian Spirit Guides and have just like slightly more gas in the deck? Will I regret cutting these? I only have 18 lands. I should bring in Veil. Should I? I guess we expect them to have more counterspells post-board, but like, they had like 2 drowns and a Force of Negation and like 45 cards there. Ashiok does turn off their fetch lands as well, that is correct. They played Push. I feel like Push is a card that's probably not staying in against us. Yeah, cutting Spirit Guide against Control, I think is right. Is Veil better than Dispute? Oh, yeah, they had Archmage's Charm. That's true. Ashiok turned off Stoneforge's Search. That's true. Fish Lamp Clock. Thanks for 19 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, there was definitely a trophy in their bin. That's true. I kind of want both. I think these bolts might be wrong. I don't know. Let's see. I have an Abrade and Ancient Grudge to kill. Stoneforge Mystic Equipment. So, Blood Moon's not going to stop them from playing Magic, most likely, but it should slow them down in a meaningful way. Even if they have Astrolabe, Blood Moon will likely cut them down to like 1 spell per turn. Yeah, even with a bunch of Astrolabes, Uro and Archmage's Charm can still be kind of prohibitive for them. We don't get to know what the opponent's record is, TDM. Magic Online attempts to pair you based on people with similar records, but it doesn't guarantee that. It also prioritizes pairing people relatively quickly. Fetch land was the best draw in our deck there. Not close. I think MTG Bot, once upon a time, had some kind of way on the back end to finagle telling you what their record was, but that was definitely, not like an intended thing. I'm excited to get Force of Negation here. I'm cracking my fetch lands, that way I can get something back with Wrenn and Six again. Ooh, that just worked. All right. And an end. Thanks for the 23 months. Astrolabe. Do 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 do. Beep 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 do. Do 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 do. Well, that's a pretty good one, chat. Oh, wait. I can just... Yeah, I can just get in here, right? We suspend the Gargadon? So am I supposed to play around Force, or am I supposed to play around Negate? I think I'm supposed to play around Negate, because if they had a Force, they probably would have forced the Blood Moon, right? I think we're supposed to do this now, right? I think if they had Force, they would have played it already. And if they have the Force, the blue card here, we'll just concede. They could have also had the Force and just not used it because they had the Astrolabe. Could be a real thing too. Okay, it didn't matter. They pitched Drown in the locks. We were gonna get countered regardless. So even if we decided to play around Force, they were gonna have it regardless. And again, like, I guess it's just like, you know, things that are fun are less fun with Force negation. Like playing against free counter spells is I just want to do my thing, chat. Can I just do my thing? Easy mulligan. Sure. Oh, don't Thoughtseize me. Feels magic, man. So I was going to Wrenn and Six on one, pick my fetch land back up. I guess they might take Balance or Electrodominance here, potentially, depending on what the rest of their hand looks like. Yeah, I think if they take Wrenn and Six, I'm just gonna I think I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna fetch Fail to Find and just kill the board. Okay, they took Electrodominance, sure. Well now I just do that, right? Do the twist, it goes something like this. Do 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 beep do 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 beep do 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 do. Whoo! Twist and shout, twist and shout. Come on, come on, come on, come on, baby. Now come on, baby. Work it on out, work it on out. Ooh, doo 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 doo. That's fine. They can keep their Thoughtseize. We can mind twist on one. Deal. Fair. Even Stevens. Fair game. Yeah, looks like we're You too, Jimmy. Happy Saturday. Master Beardsman, thank you for the third of your support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. So with the Cycle Land, Wrenn and Six just like straight up draws 2 cards per turn now, right? Hey, Dirtle Greg, thank you for the very generous tier 3 sub for the 21 months at that. Welcome back. Jimmy Kudos, thank you for the 16 months of Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. Ayo, Justin Mack with the 48-month subscription. That's practically an entire Declan worth of months. Thanks for keeping me around. I appreciate that. Welcome back. You have a castle to put on your plot of Hooglandia. Wow! Way to take my rhino away. My poor rhino. My poor rhinos have been mind controlled more than I care for today, chat. Oh no, stop it. Stop it. Get some help. Yeah, a lot of the people who currently have castle icons also have first subscriber icons. We'll start getting a few more folks who have castles but don't have first subscriber icons over the next few months. What's planned after a castle? I don't know. I have like another year to figure it out, thereabouts. And our WGN, thank you for the 20 months of support. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Thanks for keeping me around. I was here before Court of Calling was cool. Spellstutter Spray. I only found out about you because someone said you were terrible on Reddit. Thanks for the 15 months, for Smith. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yeah, I was thinking about doing a dragon head to defend your castle. Arcarador, thanks for the 23 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I've secretly been here for 4 years. Is that true? Hamblin, it says your account's only been following since July 6th, 2019. You can click on accounts and find that out. Poor Wrenn and Six. That's true. That's true. You can lurk without following. If you want to see how long someone's been following for, you have to be a mod. You can click on their username. Maybe you don't have to be a mod. I don't actually know if you can see that in other channels. It's probably a mod feature. If you're a mod, you should be able to click on people. Vonin, it says February 29th, 2016 for you. Yeah, you should be, if you're a mod and you're on the desktop, type /user and then a username. Oh, it's not a mod feature. Okay, sweet. That should be usable by anyone then if it's not a mod feature. So I still have As Foretold with 6 counters I could use. I think I'm just going to go ahead and cast another As Foretold here and just pass. Pong Master, thanks for the brand new Prime support. I appreciate that. Welcome to Hooglandia. You're having a wonderful weekend. For folks that have been around or you haven't been and you're new, if you're enjoying the weekend Hooglandia, weekend streams are going to be the norm moving forward. For the foreseeable quarantine future, at least until the fall when my kids go back to school. As long as my kids are home, I'm going to be doing Saturday and Sunday all-day streams. I'm taking off 2 days during the week. I think it'll usually be Tuesdays and Fridays that I take off during the week, but that's subject to change depending on what Christy's work schedule is. Hey, well, thanks for doing it now, Pong. I wouldn't be here without folks like you, so thanks for keeping me around. All right, so let's fetch a basic island and get some Serum Visions going here. Whoop. Okay, sick. Yeah, we're definitely into just getting balance, right? Bottom that, top this one. So I can cast this for... Nope, don't want to do that. I want to cast that for mana. And then... Oh, if I cast that for mana, I can't cast this. Maybe that's wrong. Am I supposed to cast this instead? It doesn't matter. It doesn't really matter if we get rid of the cards in their hand. Oh, I have the one with 1 too. Oh yeah, I can totes cast this. Right. This one wouldn't show up on the 1-for-1. That makes sense. Yeah, it makes sense. Oh, I'm dumb though, because casting the Spirit Guide means they keep the Rhino. Yeah, that is a mistake. Casting the Spirit Guide means they keep the Rhino. Okay, opponents had enough. Opponent, then didn't matter. Hashtag no justice stream. God bless us, everyone. All right, Veil of Summer and Mystic Dispute sounds good. Fry in Bolt seems not great here. Yeah, we could sack to the Gargadon too. Good call. So I think these 5, 6, 7 seem good. They probably don't have that many meaningful artifacts I really want to destroy. Justice doesn't exist. Thanks for 11 months, prototype. Do the Urza decks really play Whir anymore? They don't, right? I guess Ashiok shuts down their fetch lands, which would stop their island thing from happening later. I don't know. We already need 4 more cuts, so I probably don't want to bring anything else in. They're a control deck, basically, right? So it's probably this. Ashiok doesn't really stop Sword. Sorcery Speed, Graveyard Hate doesn't really do much. If I want to fit Ashiok in, what am I cutting, chat? If you want to board in any more cards out of my sideboard, what do we cut to fit that? Feel like I don't really have space. I'm gonna submit like this. Up to 1,000 people in here for Modern in the morning. That's nice. We're actually, for the first time ever, in large part because I pushed the price up with the intention of doing this, the Magic Online deck queue for Hoaglandia is at an all-time low. So I think we're probably gonna cut Magic Online back to 3 days a week. We'll see. The collapse. Thanks for the 2 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. I apologize for the giants above my head. German Space Ace. Thanks for 21 months. Welcome back. Lead on Astrolabe here. Yes, Moto is low by design. My intention is to do less Magic Online. I plan Historic's been popping, and the queue for that is full, and I've been enjoying that format, so. It's easier to enjoy the silly things that go on in Modern when they don't happen to you all the time. Like, when you experience the absurdity of the format in more bite-sized bits as opposed to all day, every day, it's easier to stomach. Strange questions for Americans. Your basements, are they just normal usable rooms? Like, do you effectively have 3-story houses? For a lot of people, Winding Road. Yeah, my basement in the house that Christy and I bought is fully finished, except for one room. And then, you know, like, in a post-COVID world, we're gonna have someone in to finish that room into a studio space for me. Sometimes they're not finished. A lot of the times they are. Yeah, it also depends where you live too. There's parts of the country where basements just don't exist as well. Basements are pretty common in the Midwest. Yeah, like, in fact, one of the selling points in the house that Christy and I bought, like, this is I'm in my basement right now, and you can see, like, I'm standing at the moment. The entire basement in our home has 9-foot ceilings. So it's just like, it doesn't even really feel like a basement. Which that's not typically the norm. That was like an extra selling feature on the house that we bought. A lot of times basements have slightly lower ceilings. All right, that's a restore balance, and I can double veil to protect it. That doesn't really do much until I have a Gargadon, right? So I think we're just like land pass. They're gonna start pumping out some Thopters here. I might have to use this restore balance as Thopter control at some point. We tried Commander. Yeah, I don't really enjoy Commander. In my experience, it's difficult to get balanced gameplay out of Commander. So like when you just, like you have to have a play group with like pretty defined power level so the decks play in an enjoyable manner with each other and it's not just one person blowing each other out. And like to get that type of experience, I'd rather just play a board game. Like especially for like the groups of people that I play with, like board games tend to be more cost effective for a similar amount of enjoyment. Yep. They're infinite now, technically, right? Right? Urza thing is infinite. I think I'm happy with how we boarded. Just gonna go ahead and run it back. If I fry Urza and then balance, they just combo in response, Squid Squad? No, they just combo in response. So like, if you kill it and then you kill it again in response, they just sack another artifact and just gain infinite life in response. Ran into someone in arena named Dr. Scapeshift MD and they're playing aggro. Good morning, wife.
Hi.
How are the monsters this morning?
Declan's hogging the Switch.
Declan's hogging your
Jacob's
Switch.
watching dragons go on a treasure hunt.
That's so sad for you that your 4-year-old stole your Switch. How is your island, honey?
It's really good since I kicked Declan off.
You kicked Declan off the island. Oh.
Why are you laughing?
Your app is stupid. So Christy has a...
I showed the chat.
Yeah, Christy has a baby app on her phone, and every week it compares the size of the baby inside of her to a random vegetable or fruit. Which is such a weird... Because, like, vegetables and fruit have lots of varying sizes, right?
It is an egg.
It is an eggplant.
It says that she's adding billions of new nerve cells in her brain. And her senses of hearing, smell, and touch are developed and functional already. Weird. Like a person.
It's a smart eggplant. Alright, anyway, just jam this, right? Like, this doesn't get Mystic Disputed, and it starts drawing us lands, which is great. She can smell inside you. That sounds like a bug, not a feature. It does kinda, right? Skirt, thanks for the 14 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back.
It says, in the midst of all my baby preparations, I should take time to bond with my partner and celebrate what connects us and makes us love one another.
So, I think
that sounds miserable.
I love you too. I think I'm supposed to wait a turn because, like, if I tap out for As Foretold here and they, like, Mystic Dispute me and then untap and play Urza, I'm pretty far behind. So I think with Wrenn and Six guaranteeing my land drops here, I'd rather wait a turn and cast As Foretold with Veil of Summer up.
Oh no. Are the temples flooding? Is that water? I'm confused.
It's an Ancestral Vision. Swish.
That's time, not water.
So I don't need to hold up Veil here because Force of Negation isn't free on their turn. We got that going for us at least. So now we get to crack this fetch, grab a mountain, and I'm going to cast this, leaving up Veil notably this time because they could have Force of Negation here.
These cards are a lot uglier than the ones you usually play with.
These cards are a lot uglier than the ones we usually play with. You're right. Hear that, chat? Magic Arena is wonderful.
Well, they're just newer cards on Magic Arena, so the artwork's prettier, right?
Oh, you just mean the specific artwork?
Yeah.
I think the actual frame being ugly on here hurts the overall aesthetic, though. It's easier to think of them as ugly. Like, this is a card from a recent set. Actually, a lot of these are. This is from the last year. This is from the last...
Then why are they so much uglier?
Because the client, yeah. It's just the client's not pretty. I
want to see that one bigger. It's like the chicken got fried.
Yep. I'm afraid your dinner got a little overcooked. Yeah, almost our entire hand, actually, is cards from recent sets. Except for this one. I actually think that artwork's pretty reasonable. Oh, I could have veiled this, right? Am I supposed to veil that? I don't know. This means I guess they get to Urza me either way. Yeah, I'm probably supposed to just veil this. In my head, this was just like an anti-counterspell card. But it definitely could have countered Thoughtseize there.
Should I be ashamed going on camera in my self-isolation look?
You're beautiful in
I
your
haven't
Portillo
brushed
shirt.
my hair in a long time. I've showered, I just don't brush my hair anymore.
Yeah, so ended up getting pretty punished for not pulling the trigger on Veil versus the Thoughtseize. Alright, so let's go ahead and crack this fetch.
Look at his hair.
Was that him this morning?
No, this is from 2 years ago.
I was like, his hair's not quite that long right now.
Oh, what were we thinking?
That's a Restore Balance, and that's a Greater Gargadon on top of my deck. So, top, Astrolabe into play.
Then what?
Then we draw Gargadon, suspend Gargadon. Then we float blue mana.
Red mana.
Oh, we need blue mana. I'm going to go ahead and sacrifice all of my lands and cast Restore Balance.
That sounds bad, honey.
Well, we're going to kill all of their
lands. Don't get rid of all our lands. What will we do?
We have an As Foretold. It's going to be wonderful. It's beautiful. Do-do-do. Do-do-do-do-do-do.
Are the first 2 words the only words you know?
Don't judge me. Choose a card in your hand. Click done to discard the rest. Yep. Then I get to plus this and pick a land back up.
You're kind of cute in your glasses. You should wear them more often.
They do get to keep 2 Talismans of Dominance here, but it is what it is. Hey, Husing, thanks for the 7 months. I appreciate that. Welcome back. Yep, yeah, 12 months for a sword indeed.
Jacob gave me 3 hugs this morning, but he gave baby sister 10.
Oh. I mean, she's a part of you, so it's like you got 13 then.
But he very clearly likes her more. Because he really only wanted to give me 1, but he settled for 3.
Oh, Thopter Foundry. So if I would have sequenced my lands better last turn...
I'm bored. See you later.
Love you, honey. Have fun with the children. If I would have sequenced my lands better last turn, I would have been able to I would have been able to Mystic Dispute their thing, which would have been ideal. You want me to Emblem Wrenn and Six? Does Retrace work with As Foretold? Is that how Magic works? I would bet that's probably how Magic works. It does. Yeah, As Foretold lets you use alternative casting methods. Or it's not an alternative cost? Or does this let you use alternative casting methods? I don't know. Let's find out. Looks like it works. Oh, ha. And I can Electrodominance on their turn from the bin to balance them again. Okay, so we go. So I get to go Electrodominance with Rechase, target you, discard this, sack my lands. Alright, I don't know if this deck is good, but it certainly got some wonderful lines in it. Thoughts on what's going on here? I feel like my two pieces of feedback, not even two, my one big piece of feedback is that some of these cards are better than the others, and I'd like to just play more of the good ones. Like, I'm not sure that I need these three cards here. I feel like rather than these three cards, I'd like to just like have a fourth Visions, a third Wrenn and Six, a third Izzet Charm maybe, and like maybe Abrade's on that list of cards too. The Abrade was okay though, like randomly destroying Batterskull was fine, but like Izzet Charm and Wrenn and Six are like pseudo removal similar to Lightning Bolt. But I feel like, yeah, I feel like testing for Wrenn and Six is probably even worthwhile. Just like to focus on your cards that are good, play all the copies of the good cards that you're allowed to play, etc., etc. Overall, this was a sweet one. Like I said, it's easier to appreciate and laugh and have fun in Modern when it's something that's not happening all day, every day. So, submissions are open for Legacy Modern and Pioneer, Vintage Pauper, whatever you want to submit. The deck queue for Modern, for Magic Online formats, is a little bit more expensive now. It's $50 for a submission. The upside to that is any submissions that get made for Magic Online will get played in less than a week now. So, that's the intention. At any rate, we are going to roll on into some video games on Magic's other platform, Magic Arena here. When we get back, we are going to kick things off with some Bant Ramp in Standard. And we're going to follow it up with some Historic before we wrap it out with some Slay the Spire. So I'll be back in just a few minutes while I get everything switched over. Thanks for hanging out today, folks. Don't go anywhere.